What are the similarities and the differences between a drug addict and a serial killer? There are so many things you learn when you go to outpatient rehabs, all these different places, and you congregate with all these different types of folks who are all battling the disease of addiction. It's generally going to come from a place of trauma or hurt. Most of the time, you're trying to numb a pain or suppress feelings. You know, there's a lot of similarities in actions between a drug addict and a serial killer. I'll never forget this. I had this class with the woman who ran the program. She had sociopath written on the board. She broke it down to where serial killers and drug addicts are exactly the same people, except drug addicts have remorse and serial killers do not. The first thing you would break down would be obsessive behavior, right? You are consumed with a need. A drug addict wakes up every single day, get something in your body so that you didn't feel like crap. Withdrawal symptoms, no one likes to live with them. That's why I used for so long. I stopped getting high a couple of years in. It was an awful, awful cycle. Control, thrill, and they're all developing rituals, right? Oh God, my girl loves serial killers. Rattle some off real quick.
Ted Bundy, Jack the Stripper.
It's not Jack the Stripper. Jack the Ripper. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyways, Jack the Stripper. If I die, it was Jack the Stripper. Speaking of Jack the Stripper, deception and double lives. Your drug addict is living a double life. I remember my mom one day, she was counting my money. I was already a grown adult. I had my own place. I lost everything. And my mom's trying to watch my money. She did my finances and she's like, I just want you to know that there's a $50,000 hole here somewhere. What do you think happened to that money? Well, Mom, I don't know. You live a double life. You're literally looking at people, talking, saying what they need you to say and what they need to hear, and you're thinking about something completely different. All you care about is one thing and one thing only. Serial killers, the double life is even more prevalent because you can get caught using drugs. It's not the end of the world. What's crazy about that is, especially with serial killers, because it's so much more drastic. They can do something horrific, whatever their MO is, and then 10 minutes later, they're just normal again. Back to what that lady had written on there, both drug addicts and serial killers are going to have sociopathic and narcissistic traits, master manipulators. I knew when I woke up in the morning, I was going to be able to somehow, some way, with some excuse, with some tone and delivery, get money from someone or something to achieve my daily goal, which was get high. Jeffrey Dahmer, you got to think serial killers are off the charts smart. Okay, not all of them. So some have low IQs, some are really smart. Jeffrey Dahmer was a pretty smart guy. He got away with a bunch of murder. He ate a bunch of people. And then you invite someone up to your house while you have dead bodies chilling. The lack of empathy out of all the sociopathic and narcissistic traits. And you may seem like you care. I haven't seen my son in 2 months, or I haven't given this guy his rent money in 3 months. I haven't gotten a job. You don't care in your head. You're like, I don't want a job. I don't want to pay rent. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to get high. High. Feeling justified when you're hurting people, it's really effed up in the head. When you're getting high, I felt like I was above the rules, but you could play the card that's like, nobody understands me or nobody gets it. I sit here years clean and think back to a bunch of the awful things that I've done. I've always said I'd be straightforward on this channel. So it's like when you go pick up drugs with your kid in the car, how am I justifying that as a parent? Hey, man, we got to run down the road real quick, hop in the car, grab your Switch, let's go do our thing. Am I telling myself, no one understands what I'm going through? If I could have seen myself back then, I'd have beat the snot out of that Michael. I was still trying to be a good person. There was still a good person in there, but the drugs had a hold of me. It's that simple. They just had a hold of me. Isolation and control. Real quick, before I get into that, if you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe. My name is Mike DeCecco. I own Timeless Protection and we protect vets. My company is always hiring for one. You can make 6 figures here. You can make 5 figures monthly. What we do is essentially safeguard consumers, mainly veterans, through their insurance process. No one likes shopping for any type of insurance. If something goes wrong in our life, we have to make sure it's done right. There are a lot of scams. There's a lot of shady people out here. My group protects veterans and consumers from that. Isolation and control. I'll speak from experience here. I've never been a control person. I've never checked my girl's phone. I'm just in my own lane. When it comes to drug addiction, serial killer's whole thing is about being in control. An addict can actually heal. I'm living proof of that. There's no serial killers anonymous. Do the 12 steps for serial killers. That's not a thing. The daily meditation. Do your best not to cut someone's throat. I used to isolate myself. I would pick up a lot of drugs. I would stay up for 2 or 3 days, like locked in a room, manipulate, make it seem like it was okay, everything. Hey, mom and dad, everything good? Yep, everything's good. Kids are good? Sure. As I'm sitting there gooned out of my mind. Ted Bundy was a personable guy, right? He was out talking to girls all the time, traveling and doing this and that, right? He used to act like his car was broken down or something. It's crazy because there's no isolation there. It's straight luring for his next fix, if you call it. The biggest difference here is the remorse. I have always felt terrible for my actions. I can't change any of it. The only thing that I can actually do here is make the right choices on a daily basis and do whatever I can to show my family that that wasn't the real me. Your serial killers literally could care less. They're not all crying and breaking down and apologizing to those that they hurt after they killed somebody. I take zero pride in the fact that I used a bunch of drugs, ruined a lot of things in my life, borrowed money from people. I don't take pride in any of that. I take pride in the actions now. People see that we can basically push through certain things. I love hearing stories about people who were really, really messed up on drugs and now they're out on the other side and they're doing good. Those are the best stories you can ever listen to. And when you look at Kensington Ave in Philly, that's like a place of like no hope to me. I've said this before in videos. If I was Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, why can't you just take $1 billion out of your $200 billion, clean up the streets of LA, Philly, Boston now, Tent City? The intent behind my actions was to numb pain, was to not feel sick, meaning physically sick. I didn't like crapping my pants every day, having anxiety and the feeling of bugs crawling all over me, sneezing left and right. Any of the withdrawals, especially for the fact that you have no energy or motivation. Serial killers' actions are driven by power, rage, sexual gratification. It's not about escaping or numbing. To a serial killer, it would be more about dominating and controlling. That would be one main difference, I would say, between drug addict and serial killer. The victimization. I hurt people with collateral damage, right? I hurt my son because he saw me high, or I didn't show up for a birthday, or I hurt my mom and dad because they raised me, and now I'm out here homeless, shooting heroin, eating out of dumpsters. Where a serial killer, they're hunting people. They're premeditating this stuff. They're intentionally trying to hurt someone. The last one would be your self-awareness. An addict is always going to know that they're not doing the right thing. When you're in active addiction and it's taking you down that path, you know it's wrong. You know that when you're spending 20 on a bag of dope, when you should be putting money on your kid's cafeteria card for school, you need to buy clothes for your kid and food for the house, and you go below $80 on a bunch of cocaine and heroin. A day later, nothing is there. You're broke again, there's no food in the fridge, and there's no drugs. We know that that's wrong. Most of the time, we just can't stop. It takes getting caught, arrested, going to jail, losing children. It takes a lot of stuff to make us really just stop and smell the roses and look at what we're doing to try to turn it around and fix it. Where your serial killer, they're superior to everybody. Maybe that they're chosen. I've never felt like I was the chosen drug addict. When you're addicted to something that's ruining your mind, your body, your soul, your family, everything. When I first started, nobody could tell what I was doing. I didn't even know that I was going down the path I was going down. I was raised very well. My parents, amazing people. I was never the type of person around people doing drugs. You have families that are just open. Their cares are different. Dad comes home right at 3 o'clock from work, 5 o'clock from work, starts getting hammered, partying, smoking. There's always people around. It took 4 years for my parents to figure out what I was doing, but One big thing that's always stuck with me, there was a kid that died in our sober house. We used to get taken to Walmart on Sundays to pick up food or whatever we wanted. And your family could meet you there. Walked around Walmart with him, and, his dad had guardianship, just like my parents had guardianship at Cam. Bought a big steak, and he cooked a big dinner. This kid was an amazing guitarist. Hooked up his amp and guitar and played, and it was ridiculously amazing. And then all of a sudden, it's time for bed. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever. I heard a thud right above me, literally right above me. It can only be one thing in a sober house. And we had it pushed forward a little bit and could see him. We could see his face. His lips were purple. That is on a whole nother level of not thinking your actions affect people. Those kids are growing up without their dad. The people that were in that house, I can name 5 people right now that had a shot. Now they're dead. So when you talk gratitude, that's all I need to think about. That's why I have perspective in life, because I've been around stuff like that, and I didn't want to leave my kids without a dad. I didn't want to not have a chance of having a daughter or getting married. Like, all these things are happening to me now, all because we made the change. Things are really good in our life. You see with my videos, it's so up and down, because owning a business, being a dad, being a fiance, we just have to make sure things are in perspective. You look at the things that you love first. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about what I need. It's not about the fix that I have to go get. This is about everybody around me, right? You go off and kill somebody, you're in jail for the rest of your life. You're toast. Everybody around you is screwed. If you haven't, again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm trying to get a couple of pretty well-known people who had drug addiction problems or are currently, they're drug addicts. We're always going to be drug addicts, but they're not active. And they've built massive businesses. And I want to talk to them, and I want to pick their brain. I want to learn from them. You've got dirty cops. You've got the church. Let's not even get into that one. Just because you're a drug addict doesn't mean you're a bad person. If you can go from where I was to where I'm at now, I want to be able to give opportunities to others. I think it's important for people to hear these things. So thank you very much, guys. Team Timeless. Check out We Protect Veterans, the other channel. I thank you guys very much. Have a good night.